Hey, everybody. We have a little bit of a fun time this afternoon. We've got some opportunity to do a little pop up show. Didn't really expect to have the time, but did have the time and know that many of you wanted to chat this morning and didn't have a chance, we didn't have a chance to get everybody's questions in. So thought I'd do a little pop up here so that we could have some fun and chat about whatever you wanted to chat about on this gloriously hot afternoon on the East Coast of the United States of America. It is approximately 98 degrees here in your nation's capital. And some of the problems they're having up at Flushing Meadows, which is about 300 miles up the road in New York City, and U.S. Open style. My understanding is that if you've never been, it's a fun trip to U.S. Open tennis. And they're playing under some ridiculously hot conditions, obviously, as you know. And so they're doing everything they can to keep cool, as are we here in our very, as you can see, elaborately cool broadcast center. So the U.S. Open, for those of you, looks like that there's a couple of U.S. men and U.S. women who are still in the hunt. And we know that it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be tough to get by Djokovic. He seems to be, he seems to own the court, and this is his place. So we are enjoying that. Unless, of course, you're on Spectrum TV in the New York area, then you're not seeing it. Or in the Tampa St. Petersburg area, the Orlando area, Los Angeles. Number of other places, so it's a lot of fun to watch, and we've got plenty of things. We've got MLS tonight. Everybody seems to be in action. That's all on both Apple TV as well as, of course, the MLS Pass. So you can check out soccer this evening. You can also check it out this afternoon on both Peacock and Paramount Plus. Excuse me. So there's plenty of soccer to take a look at today. And we got the baseball races are getting, hot and heavy as we have one more. It's hard to believe we have actually less than a month left in the Major League Baseball season. So there's all kinds of things going on today. And, we have college football that's coming up this weekend, a lot of good games there. And, of course, the start of the NFL season. So it's not like we don't have things going on. And I think that part of the fun of this is that we're going to enjoy what we have to enjoy when we can. So if you're pretty much any sport that you're a fan of, there's something going on at this point in time. And as we said, with the tennis, U.S. Open women's and men's finals will be this weekend, just as the season opens for the NFL. We get the college and there's week 0, so technically it's week 2 of the college football season, and so we go from there. We have plenty of fun stuff to go with baseball, because there's some really hot races going on in that situation, where you get the Mariners, Astros, and the Rangers all set to go for a pennant race down there. And then there's the wild card race in the National League. So there's pretty much, as I said before, if you are a fan of sports, this television-wise, you can't beat what we're going through here now, actually, all the way through October. And then, of course, when October hits, we start getting NBA and NHL. So plenty of good stuff. Quick note that at the end of the month, as we get a little closer, but not just need to know right now, but remember that all of Turner's TBS's baseball, when they get to the playoffs, will be available not only on, if you have cable, they'll be on TBS, of course, but they'll be on Max, which is what used to be called HBO Max. Now it's just Max, and Turner's taking all that content and they're putting it on Max, so you can stream live the NBA. I'm sorry, the Major League Baseball playoffs, then into the NBA season and the NHL, all right there on Max. So that's coming from that standpoint. Remember that you can also stream the Sunday night NFL game on Peacock, as well as the CBS list of games that would be in your area on Paramount Plus. So you're getting yourself all set up for that. Fox doesn't have that streaming component just yet, and so if you want to watch your Fox game, and you have an option, you can get yourself a TV antenna, which isn't that expensive, and plug it in, and you can get your local Fox station right there. So there's that coming down the line. So NFL this week, and more college football, NBA will be coming in the fall, a little bit, about a month. And then, of course, as we said, the Major League Baseball races. So that's what we got going. Let's take a quick look at two things. One, at the MLS soccer schedule for tonight. As we get ready for that. And, there's a lot of people are hoping that Miami makes the playoffs. But remember that Messi will not be playing for a couple of weeks, because he's going to be playing in some friendlies for the folks at in Argentina. So he's going to be with his national team there in Argentina. So don't expect to see Leo Messi for at least 2 weeks. And now Miami's going to have to do what they can to hang in there and try to score that final playoff berth, which of course is what they want, and certainly what the MLS would love to have. Would love to have Messi in the finals, or at least in the playoffs. So we'll see how that seems to work out. Let's go to your afternoon scoreboard. We have some afternoon games because it is, of course, Wednesday, and Wednesday is when we have some afternoon baseball, get out of town games, and the scores are. Let me give you a quick one. Top of the sixth inning, Milwaukee's up 3-1 on Pittsburgh. We have starting at 3:00. The Chicago Cubs will be hosting the San Francisco Giants. That's a key game in the race for the wild card. They're in a rain delay in Cleveland. Cleveland's up on Minnesota in the third by a score of 3-1. 4:00 start, Toronto's at Oakland. 4:00 start, Colorado is at Arizona. 4:10 start is Philadelphia at San Diego. And then we move to the evening games, which would be Seattle with they're in the hunt for both the wild card as well as the division championship in the West. That's a 6:40 first pitch in Cincinnati. Boston is at Tampa Bay. That's a 6:40 first pitch there. At the Trop, the Dodgers are in Miami. That's a 6:40 first pitch in Miami. The Mets are in DC. That's a 7:05 first pitch there. Detroit is at the stadium in New York. And by the way, they played that game earlier today. I apologize. They're getting the finals in here. Yankees 5-1 winners over Detroit. Atlanta lost to St. Louis 10-6 earlier today. First game of the doubleheader of that San Francisco-Chicago game was 11-8, Chicago outlasting them. Then we had Kansas City beating Texas by a score. I'm sorry, the White Sox by a score 7-6. Texas got beat by Houston. So there you go. That's where we are right now on those games. So let's take a quick look around the what our games are tonight for the MLS, Europa League, and United States. Okay. Oh, we have some women's college soccer, which Mount St. Mary's against Robert Morris, Canisius against St. Bonaventure, UConn against Marist, and Brown versus St. Louis. All those games are on ESPN Plus for this evening. Let's see if there's we got no in the afternoon games here. We have Copa Argentina. That game's going to be on Fubo TV. That starts at 10 tonight. Estudiantes Rios taking on Defensa. Kansas City Current versus Carolina Courage. That game is in the NWSL Challenge Cup. So that's the Women's Soccer League Challenge Cup. Kansas City is taking on North Carolina. That game's on CBS Sports Network. And the late game on CBS Sports Network is the OL Reign, or that would be the Oregon Reign, against Racing Louisville. So those games are on both CBS Sports Network as well as Paramount Plus, one at 8 o'clock and one at 10 o'clock. So you have a doubleheader there in that regard. So that's what you got going on in the sports situation these days. And let me go and check our feed here on Twitter or X, whichever you want to call it. Let's see. We've got Isaac. What do you got for us? Nothing. ECU and Appalachian State, UNC Charlotte will never make it above the AAC and Sunbelt. That's a statement he made. Maybe true. I don't think that the seats are very limited on what's going to be promoted to Power 5. So, look, ECU, App State, wonderful schools. Whether they make it or not, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd just go and enjoy the games, guys. Just enjoy the games. Don't worry where you're playing. Just enjoy the game. Okay, Fred. What's going on with Fred? You studied how well. I was talking about Colorado now, and it seems that every pass. This must be Chacon. We must be talking about Chacon's son, Sanders, Deion's son, who's the quarterback. He was stunned on how well he played. It seemed like every pass was on target. He also had a great receiver situation on the 50-50 balls. Colorado is going to win a lot more games this year. I don't know how much a lot more is, but yeah, they're a talented team. They're a very talented team. They're talking about Central Florida versus East Carolina. And they won't play each other, guys. They're in different conferences this year. So they're not going to be playing each other this year. Let's go down the list here. Who's our winners and losers? Our winners this week, Colorado, the big win over TCU. That's my number one win. My number two big win is the East Carolina loss to Michigan, which was the most streamed game in the history of Peacock. Now, you may say, well, Peacock's not that old, and that's true, but they did stream a number of Notre Dame games in the past. So for ECU and Michigan to play each other, and they get the top streaming ratings, largely because of Michigan's name in the Big Ten, but ECU contributed. Number three on the list of winners is NBC for the Big Saturday night, which was the most watched primetime game on television since 2015. ESPN got a win for FSU's win over LSU. That was Sunday night's game, and CBS got one for their coverage of Big Ten. And one last winner was ESPN's continued coverage, and our buddy Chris Fowler, who did double duty where he called the Florida Utah game and then went back to New York and called the games on the U.S. Open tennis, and got back on a plane, flew back and did the FSU LSU game. And I saw him today on TV doing the tennis again. So kudos to Chris for doing double duty there. Let's see what we got from Melanie. What you got for us, Melanie? You are a longtime Boise State fan, and you can't wait to see UCF come out and play on the Smurf turf. Okay, well, that'll be fun. Should be hot, too, out there in Boise. We got Chris McDonald hoping that ESPN Plus adds some more content. Not enough live games from my conference. Okay, fair enough. Let's see what we got from anybody else here that is of interest. Okay. Talking about brand new stadium coming in for East Carolina. That's nice. They feel like they're going to have a good time against UNC soon. Well, that'd be good. And hope you enjoy it. Hope you do have a nice game against them. Be fun. Okay, let's see what else is going on. Tight schedule today, huh? Okay. As we know, it's the Pac-12 is after this year is no more, so they're throwing one hell of a goodbye party. All 12 of their schools won this week, becoming the only undefeated conference in FBS this week. Plus, they tied the SEC for the most schools in the top 25 with 6. So, absolutely. Fred bringing up a good point there. Let's roll down, see what else we got. And what are the questions we have real quick? This is going to be a short one today, guys. And let's see. FSU's win over LSU on Sunday night was the second most watched college football game on a Sunday night in history, with 9.1 million viewers on ESPN ABC. That is correct. A lot of East Carolina fans here this afternoon. Okay. No MLB expansion until resolved in Milwaukee and Phoenix. No, I don't think that's a problem there. I think the expansion situation will be stadium issues in, well, we already know Oakland, because they may have, depending upon who you listen to, have either filed to relocate to Vegas, and then Charlotte would be the next one. So no, I don't think that's necessarily the problem. Major League Baseball's expansion problem is not that. Milwaukee's got a stadium that is only 10 years old, and Phoenix's stadium is 20 years old. So I don't think that, nobody's threatening to leave Milwaukee or Phoenix. So I wouldn't really concern if you're a fan of the Brewers or the Diamondbacks. I wouldn't be too concerned that you're going to get up and leave anytime soon. That's more of a battle between them wanting some local money to be invested from the cities and perhaps renovating the parks a bit. But no, those parks aren't that old, so I wouldn't be worried about that. Then there's a little bit of shade here thrown on SMU. Most of the country doesn't think that half of P5 schools deserve to be in the conferences that they're in. SMU buying their way in doesn't help. Do they think that Rutgers deserves it, or Vanderbilt, or Washington State, or Wake Forest? Guys, these were conferences that were forged years and years ago. Okay, so whether they deserve it or not it doesn't really matter. They're there, and these conference deals have been done. And you may think that it sucks that Rutgers is getting more money and Vandy's getting more money than teams that you may feel deserve it, but membership has its privileges. And in this particular case, the membership of the Southeastern Conference, the Big Ten, those members are definitely enjoying themselves. A little bit of a surprise, and that was that NBC announced their game for Saturday night just a few minutes ago. So let me break a little news here to you, and that is it's going to be second week in a row for Penn State. Good on them. And then it'll be Maryland. So it'll be Maryland and Penn State as the big game on Saturday night on NBC. So there you go. Maryland and Penn State. That game should be fun. So we'll see Penn State and Maryland playing each other in a conference game Saturday night in, on NBC. Okay, so there you go on that one. So let's see what we got here. All right, tell you what, we're going to take about 3 or 4 more questions, and then we got to get going on a very warm Wednesday afternoon. Okie dokie, what do we got here? Comcast and will Charter and ESPN solve their differences before the weekend? I don't think they will. I'd be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I'm wrong. I think that Charter has decided they're going to put a line in the sand and not to cross it. I think they want, if Disney is willing to back down and ask for less money, I think that that's the way it gets resolved before the weekend. If not, you may want to look for alternate ways to watch ESPN on over the weekend, because it's not going to be on Spectrum if you happen to be a Spectrum subscriber. So we'll see. But right now, not anything I've read leads me to believe that that thing's going to be done with Spectrum backing off their the way that they want it to be done. So thanks, Jonathan, for the question, but we shall see what we shall see. I just don't. I mean, I don't see them raising Disney's money the way that Disney wants it to be. They want a price bump, and they're not going to. I just don't see Spectrum giving it to them. It doesn't make any sense. So we'll see. But at this point, that is what it is. Okay. All right. Why not tell you what? Time for one more question, then we got to get going. All right. Let's see what we got. Let's scroll down here real quick. Take somebody's question who we haven't taken yet. And let's see. I'll tell you what, this is a lot of East Carolina today. What the heck is going on with you guys? Here's we got one. Michigan is worth more than Notre Dame. Other game schools won't do so well, but Big Ten value, fortunately, a lot of people understand. Actually, Riley, you're right. Traditionally, Michigan and Ohio State are 1 and 2 ratings wise. Number 4 is Notre Dame. SC is in the third place on that one. So, the numbers don't lie in that regard. Michigan does have a larger fan base, but remember that Michigan is a much larger school than Notre Dame. And while Notre Dame has a lot of what they call subway alumni, Michigan and basically the Big Ten tend to watch their own teams play. So there you go in that regard. So yeah, I agree with you. Michigan does outrate Notre Dame lots, by a great deal in television. All righty, boys and girls. Say what? Thanks for joining us this afternoon. We got a short show, but we will have Amadeus back with us tomorrow, and we'll be able to talk a little bit longer and more about soccer than today. Of course, it was a very light schedule today in soccer. Most of it not until tonight, so we'll let that go. We'll give you some baseball scores, and we appreciate you coming by and hanging with us. And we shall be back tomorrow at 2:00. So have fun and be well.